Welcome to Hip Hop Hustling and the Internet. And you know we about to get into that. I am Uncle Boo. And this is a hustle video. I'm gonna tell y'all about the night that I decided that the streets was not for me. I decided that I could no longer do the things that I was doing and live the way that I was living. And I needed to make a change for my life before I end up in a worse situation than I was in. So let's get right into it right now. I want to give y'all a disclaimer right now. Telling y'all this story, I don't do the things that I'm talking about anymore, and I haven't done them for a long time. So let's go. So this particular story starts off. I was working this crappy job, bro, like making like $850 every 2 weeks. So I was hustling on the side, because that's what I came from. I came from the game. I jumped off the porch at an early age, like 13 years old, is probably when I got my first pack and I started doing what I had to do, you know what I'm saying? Doing what I do or whatever. So um I was hustling. So this particular night, I was at the house and I was just chilling. Maybe 2 days before that, I had just got a pack in or whatever. And so I was at home chilling, playing the game, sit back watching YouTube, just doing me. So somebody had called and I tell them to come through so I can get them together. Now, already off the dribble, I'm breaking the number one rule. I'm trapping where I stay. I'm on that big Kevin Gates. I'm tweaking. I'm trapping where I stay. It's my girl and my kid right there. I'm breaking one of the rules of the 10 crack commandments off top. You don't never supposed to hustle where your family live at, but sometimes when you desperate, you don't think straight and you make dumb decisions. And I guess out of desperate times comes desperate measures. And sometimes you're just not even thinking right and you do dumb, desperate stuff or whatever. So, but I ain't making no excuse. That was just dumb. So, like I said, I served my peoples or whatever. So maybe about an hour later, I'm sitting there playing the game, and the way that my house was made, um, the way that my house was, matter of fact, the way that my house was made, you can look out the window and you can see the street because where I stayed on the main street, and everybody know where I stayed at. Like, if you knew me, then you know where I stayed because you couldn't miss it. You know what I'm saying? Like at any given time, you could drive by because it was one of the busiest streets in the city that I lived in at the time or whatever. And if it wasn't the first, it was the second busiest street. So everybody could ride past my house. You could see my house. I stayed on the front street, on the main street. So I look out the window, and it's an unmarked car sitting outside the crib. So I don't think nothing of it because, like I said, I stayed on the front street, on the main street, and people always get pulled over for some reason. Like right where my house is where the street widens. So they like to pull over there if they get pulled over. Police always pull people over. People car break down, they run out of gas. It's always something. Domestics, they kick their boyfriend out in front of the house. It's always something going on in front of the house. So I ain't think nothing of it. So I continue on with my life. You know what I'm saying? Just normal night, playing my game, playing Madden. So maybe about 10, 15 minutes later, I look out the window again. And the car's still sitting there, and it's a field right across the street. So now it's the one sitting in front of the house, and it's one sitting in the field across the street. So now I'm getting a little nervous, and I'm like, dang. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking, I'm like, dang, man. Because at the time, I just got off probation. And like I say, so when I started, I was hustling because I needed money to get a new job because I just needed money to make ends meet because my job wasn't doing it. So eventually, I ended up getting a new job. So this time, I had just got this new job when this happened. So Um, and now I'm making the most money that I've ever made legally, next to when I got fired from a Fortune 500 company, but that's a whole different story for another day. You know what I'm saying? So now back to the story. So like I say, I'm sitting across the street or whatever. I mean, not me, but it's a car across the street. It's a car in front of the house. So I go downstairs. I'm looking. I'm just looking. So a third police car pull up. So now they all it's two cars in front of the house, one car across the street. So now I'm getting a little nervous. I'm like, dang. I'm like, man, my house about to get hit. Like I said, I'm fresh off of probation. I'm fresh off of probation in two different states. So probably maybe a year off of probation in two different states. So I'm getting real nervous. And I'm like, dang, I'm jail. So I'm nervous now because I'm like, I'm finna get my house finna get hit. I got my girl in here. I got my daughter in here. Now my daughter finna see this, man. So I'm real nervous. So I call my mans up and I tell him, I'm like, bro, I think my house finna get hit. I think my house finna get hit. So pop man's up on the phone. Bro, I think my house finna get hit. Bro, I'm gonna call you right back, man. It ain't looking right out here. I don't know what's going on, bro. Them people sitting outside my crib though. Call you back, bro. So now I'm sitting in the window. And I'm so paranoid. My house big. It was built in like 1890s. So it's big. So I'm running from the third floor to the first floor, looking out the window, back and forth, back and forth. Because on the third floor, I could see a little further down the street or whatever. I could see the both corners, all the way to both corners. And then I could see over like 2-3 blocks over in front over. I could see like 2-3 blocks to the west of me or whatever. So I'm up and down. I'm scared. Heart beating. Heart beating. My girl like, what's wrong? My girl like, what's wrong? So I'm like, man. So I run down to the basement. And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, dang. I'm like, I got this stuff down here, bro. Oh man, what I'm gonna do? So quick thinking, I grabs the pack and I take it out the storm door because he had like some storm doors through the basement. So I run it out the storm doors through the backyard and I throw it over the fence. I hop over the fence. So I run to the bando. It's a bunch of bandos on the next street. So I run to the bando on the next block. I hide it in the bando. Run back home. So I call my man back. Bro, look, I did this, put that in son. Put that over there. You know what I'm saying? So if I go to jail, bro, I need you to take care of that for me. Please take care of that for me. So, you know what I'm saying? So I can get out of jail if I go to jail, bro. Hold me down. So I run back in the crib. He like, I got you. So I'm like, if I don't call you back tonight, that mean I'm locked up. So I run back to the crib and I remember I got like 150 Erkin jerks. I got like 150 upstairs. So grab all of them, run back down to the bathroom, and flush them down the toilet. So then, no. So before I did that though, when I run back in, I look out the window. Now it's 4 police cars, 3 in front of the crib, 1 parked across the street facing the crib. They all out they car now. Of course they vest up, but they ain't have on no tactical gear. But where I'm from, that don't even matter because they'll come get you without the tactical gear where I'm from, and it don't matter what time of the day. And it's been, and for sure, if I can remember right, it was definitely a Tuesday or a Thursday for sure. So all of that, it just made me paranoid. So now they out the car, but the way the street made, So they's like two standing on my walkway, because my walkway go from the porch all the way down to the sidewalk. And again, we on the main street. So it's two standing on the walkway. And in my head, they finna come knock on the door. And there's two more standing on sidewalk. So I'm standing there, so I heart beating. So I'm telling my girl what to do, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, if I go to jail, you know what I'm saying, call this lawyer, you know what I'm saying? Just come find out what my bond is, come get me, you know what I'm saying? Call so-and-so, so-and-so. This what you do if I go to jail tonight, if they hit the crib, you know what I'm saying? You don't know nothing, you ain't seen nothing, you ain't did nothing. So all I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, dang, bro done set me up. Bro done put them people on me. So now I'm hot. I'm hot, hot. So now I'm steady looking out the window. So like all this stuff happening real fast, but I'm telling it slow, but it's happening real fast though. All this stuff happening real fast in a matter of span about an hour maybe. So I'm standing there, I'm sitting there. So I run back to the third floor and I'm looking out the window and I see a tow truck pull up. I'm like, I know it's over because I done had a house hit before. My house done got hit before this. I had a house get hit way back in the day before that. So I'm like, I know it's over now. I know it's over. The tow truck pulled right up in front of the crib. So now I'm just sitting there, you know what I'm saying? I'm just waiting for real. I'm just sitting there and I'm waiting. And the tow truck put the first police car on the tow truck. And when he put the police car on the tow truck, bruh, I screamed so loud in the crib. I literally saw one of the cops look up to the window. They put the tow truck on the car. And in about 5 minutes, all of them was gone. So I'm in the crib. I'm going crazy. I'm punching the wall. I'm punching the door. We got these old wood doors, so they ain't gonna break, put no holes in them or nothing. They was like that thick old school wood, you know what I'm saying? So I'm punching the door, punch the door so much, man, my hands start bleeding. And I'm just mad, you know what I'm saying? So I call my man, I tell him false alarm, I run back, grab the thing, you know. So at this point, I'm in the house and I'm just mad because I done just did all this crazy stuff because I'm paranoid and I'm scared. And so I was sitting up in my man cave and I was telling myself, I'm like, if you that scared, this ain't for you no more. It's time for you to find something else to do, partner. The streets ain't for you. You need to be on the sidewalks. So I went to bed. I thought about that all night. And I woke up the next morning and I formulated a plan to get myself out the game. And at that point, I'm gonna say within 5 days, I was done with the streets completely. Walked away cold turkey. I was done. And I promise you I'm gonna say for the next 2, 3 years, I just sat in the house. I didn't go out the house. I went to work and I came home and that was it. And I traveled. That was it. You know, because I knew I had to separate myself from the people and the things that I was around. And I loved my brothers to death, you know what I'm saying? To the point where sometimes it might have would caused us death, you know what I'm saying? But I had to love myself enough to walk away, and I had to love my daughter enough to walk away because the only person in this world that I love more than myself is my daughter, you know, and I had to walk away. I couldn't do it no more, man. I just couldn't do it. You know, I couldn't do it at that point. I'm getting old, and I'm like, man, I ain't got no more time to get these people. You know what I'm saying? Like, Because when you out there in them streets and you 20 some years old and you thinking you like, oh, I can get them 4, 5 years. That's nothing. I can get them 4, 5 years. But when you start hitting 28, 29, man, you ain't trying to get on people that time. You can't snitch. So your best bet is to just walk away. And man, I walked away cold turkey. And honestly, I can say it was the best decision that I ever made in my life. You know what I'm saying? Because right after that, I went through a hard period, but then I came out a waterfall on top. You hear me though? And man, I started doing it. I was doing it legally though. You know what I'm saying? And a couple years after that, I hit my first 6 figure year, legally, straight legal though, 6 figures. And so using these three things right here, hip hop, hustling, and the internet, you know what I'm saying? And it worked for me. And it was hard work, dedication, and I had to it struggle it was a lot of struggle through the ups and downs, but ultimately it was the smartest decision that I ever made because not too long after I walked away from the game, a lot of the homies started going to jail, man. They started going to prison, not just jail. You know what I'm saying? And it was wild because I'm even seeing the young homies going to prison. And I'm knowing to myself, like, bro, you already then just got off probation in 2 different states. You get caught up in something else. These people is not finna play with you. These people finna sit you down and let you know that life is real. So before them people sat down, I sat myself down. And that's another story for another day. You know what I'm saying? But that's what happened the day that I decided to leave the streets. You know what I'm saying? I woke up that next morning and I decided that my family, my little daughter, was way more important than the homies in the streets. And I love my homies to this day. You know what I'm saying? RIP to all my lost ones, you know what I'm saying? Free all the homies that's locked down, you know what I'm saying? And congratulations to all the homies that changed their life, that made it out and changed their life, because a lot of us can't say that we actually made it out. And a lot of people say it's only 2 ways out the game, and that's dead or in jail, but it's a third way. You turn your back on the game and you walk away cold turkey. And I'm proud to say that, I was able to walk away from the game with no smut on my name. You know what I'm saying? I ain't snitch on nobody. I don't owe nobody no money. You know what I'm saying? So I walked away with my head held high and I still had my respect. And one of the most beautiful things about it was that the homies still respected me, because no matter what, I'm still from the hood. And the homies still mess with me and they still respect me. But they also respect my boundaries. And to me, that's a real friend. That's a real homie, because they was able to let me go. They loved me enough to let me go, and I love them enough to let them go. You know, but I love my daughter and my family and myself even more to walk away. So I tell these stories, because I hope that somebody can learn from me. That, or maybe that I can inspire you to change your life. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, man, we all come from the hood. You know what I'm saying? And it was this song. It's it's a quote from a song. It's like, every hood has its own jungle. So when you out of town, be humble. You know what I'm saying? And it's a guy like me in every city, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really want to do something else, but you just get caught up and you become a product of your environment. And then you start moving a way that really ain't conducive to your life. And then you get so caught up in that life, and eventually you get sucked into it, because now you trying to live this life and now you in it. And once you in it, you in it. But you can get out. But you gotta save yourself. Can't nobody save you. You gotta save yourself. And I just hope that my message, can help somebody that's struggling. You know what I'm saying? With teetering that line, like I want to get out the game, but I don't know how. I don't know what to do. You know, cause man, it's hard out here, and it was even hard. It was hard, but doing 15, 10, 20, 15 years to life, it's a lot harder, bro. Just sitting at the crib broke, talking to your kids through that glass. It's a lot harder than sitting at that crib broke. So it's up to you, man. You got to make a choice. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even got to be sitting at the crib broke. You know what I'm saying? That was just something that I personally went through. But I walked away from the streets with nothing. You did all that hustling, all that balling, walked away with nothing. Spent all that money on bottles, spent all that money on grills, spent all that money on jewelry, and you walked away from the game with nothing. One case. That's all it takes for you to lose it all. So if you listening to this, man, and you right there on that fence, man, get out while you can, man. That's the message that I got for you tonight. Get out while you can. It ain't too late for you, bruh. Uncle Boo out. I love y'all. Peace.